Welcome everybody to another Saturday night live stream. Tonight we're joined by the one and only Journey as we're going to be talking about comic books and collecting, going all the way back to the old days, right up to the new days. And of course, you can't go to the new days without VeVe. So before we go any further, let's just welcome Journey to the show. Journey, I think most people know a lot about you already, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, right now I'm an auto body technician, so I fix crashed cars. I have fun with that, and on the side, I guess just clean cars and just hustling. And VeVe was one of my hustles. I started out just with VeVe, going for comics is the cheapest one to go for. So yeah,
Very cool.
and that's been working out
Now,
pretty good for me.
before VeVe, did you collect comics at all, or at least what drew
Um,
you to comics?
my cousin has been really big in comics. He's made tons off of it. And it he kind of got me into it slowly. I think my first comic is I think it's called what is it? It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic, The Last Ronin. I own like
Okay,
this it's multiple covers, but it's the same book. And
right.
yeah, I own like 20 of them or something, and yeah, they're pretty good. That's the first one. I literally got it like last year. So it's been
Do you have
awesome.
them? Do you have them all packaged up in sleeves and everything?
Yeah, there's sleeves. I did want to get them graded and stuff, but I didn't get a
Mhm.
chance as of yet.
Well, that sounds pretty cool.
And I also
And go ahead.
yeah, and it also collected a few Pokemon cards. I'm sure a lot of people know Pokemon, and
Hmm.
a few people probably know what Yu-Gi-Oh is. So I do have some of those. I had bought some Marvel character cards. Yeah,
Okay,
Digimon. Yeah, also, I have all sorts of stuff.
that's definitely pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, so how did you discover VeVe?
Um, again, it was my cousin told me about it. I know I had heard about Omi and stuff in the chat a while back ago on during the crypto night in Canada. Again, I didn't really into it. I wish I did, but yeah, I got into it a couple months ago, and it was through my cousin.
Awesome. And is that the same cousin that used to do the comic books as well, or?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
Oh, I said, is that the same cousin who used to do the comic books?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
he's really big into that, and he knows like a lot of comics and what's good and what's a good long term hold. So yeah,
Hmm.
he put me in a good spot, and yeah,
Okay.
I'm glad
So
he
I
did.
can I can assume he's the one who's giving you the pointers to let you know which ones you should you should grab because they're a
Yeah,
steal.
exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely perfect. When did you first buy your first, or when did you get your first drop? Did you get a drop first, or did you buy first? That's
I bought first. I bought an Invisible Woman. That was the first thing I bought. I bought it overpriced, and it finally
mhm.
went up past what I paid for it. So it was yeah, that was a funny one.
Oh, okay.
And
And then you started doing the drops after
yeah,
that.
my first drop, I don't know. I don't think I was doing good, and then again my cousin showed me the tricks and the way around, and yeah, then I started getting here and there. It was different. 4 months ago, you'd be surprised how much easier it was than now. So yeah, it's just gotten so bad and it's like out of hand. You just really can't. It's frustrating right now.
Hmm. Right, absolutely. Oh, look at this. The freaking Oracle's gone on a little bit of a tear here. Omi, 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 banana, Omi, 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 bread, Omi, 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 Omi. Try to say that 3 times fast. Holy banana bread. All right. We've also got Dave D in the house. So he's saying hi, everyone. So, hey, Dave, how are you doing?
Hey, David or Dave.
And we got Zach saying, hey, what's up, Candace and Journey? Which is pretty awesome. And Rye likes the background. So a little bit about my background tonight, because we're talking comic books. I thought I needed a kind of comic book background. So I went on Canva, found some characters and put them together. And voila. And I didn't actually know that the background to my comic book was going to match Journey's background. That was a coincidence, but it looks rather cool.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty good. Riley's in the house. He says, hey, all. We got Dan. I highly enjoy comics. Absolutely. We've got MC Paris. Viva la Vivi. Cool. Zach, got some PSA 10 Luke Donick and Trey Young rookie cards. That's my exposure journey.
Mm.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, sounds pretty nice.
Now, what is there something on the platform right now on VeVe that's sort of like your your best case I wish I owned card or comic?
As of right now, I don't think so. I'm pretty happy with what I have. So I don't want to. I wouldn't want to be too greedy. Everyone. If it seems as if everyone got what you know they should have so far. So I don't know.
Hmm.
It worked out pretty well for me for the time that I've been in, and I couldn't be more, I guess, grateful for my luck. So
Okay. What is your favorite
yeah.
piece right
But
now?
my favorite, I do love the comics. The comics are just more like really unique. Obviously, when it comes to comics in real life and grading, you can't you can't read them, you can't open them, you can't take them out the case if it's graded because it loses value. So with
Hmm.
this, I don't know if VeVe is ever gonna do anything about the whole grading situation and stuff, and hopefully they don't. But yeah, I mean, at least you could read these ones. You could
Hmm.
interact, I guess, with your book and actually have it.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I know when I used to collect comic books, I used to always buy usually 3 copies of any ones that I thought were going to be worth something. One of them was to read, and the other two were to basically put a backing in a sleeve and
Hmm.
put them in a box. That was kind of the whole way it went. And then our Bible back then there used to be a book called by Overstreet, which was basically the comic book guide, which would tell you all of the prices. They'd come out every so often, usually once a year, give you all the prices of the old ones. So that way, there, when you went in to sell, you had an idea what it was worth.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've ever tried to haggle with a comic book guy. They're very good at haggling. They will try to take you as low as you can go, but if you've kind of got an idea of what it's worth, then you kind of know where you can stand your ground, which is kind of nice. Now, VeVe, I guess, is a little different. Have you tried the auction part of VeVe, just out of curiosity's sake?
I have, and it's all right. They just made some changes on it. So before it was like 3 days, and so you'd post something up, or whether you're going for something, you have 3 days to kind of, I guess, bid on it and try to bid someone up. That was okay. They just changed it to 1 day, so I guess it's kind of better for the short term, kind of catch an eye, and you're able to just get it going very quickly and make the sale very fast. And if you really want to pick something up, so I think that works out pretty nice.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Now, this week they've been doing that whole Craven the Hunter series out of
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Interestingly enough, I actually used to have that series in a
Mhm.
plastic bag stored in a box.
Yeah.
Um, I loved that series. I thought it was a fantastic series. I really loved the way VeVe had dropped it one a day. That to me was just absolutely fantastic way to
Hmm.
do it. Um, is this the first time they've done this in
It
this
is.
way?
It
Okay.
is. Yes, and that's why this book I did end up getting 3 or 4 on the drop. The rest I just picked it up, just because it's the first, like, I guess, full story that you can get on the app, and I find only 30,000 people could obviously hold the full thing, right? So I found that to be really cool.
Perfect. And Nate says it's awesome to see you on the stream.
Thanks, guys.
Nate's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Nate
He,
is
he
good.
he was here last week. Now the Freaking Oracle used to have Richie Rich comics when younger. I don't know if I
I,
don't know if maybe the very first Richie Rich. I've never heard of Richie Rich comics actually going up in value very much. Um, there used to be some good ones. Now, here's an interesting thing. I know that they have the DC licensing as well from VeVe, but I haven't really been seeing very many DC comics. Have you seen any at all? I've seen the figurines and.
yes, I've been hearing different things. I know there must be some other platform right now that are doing NFT comics as well, because I did
Mhm.
hear some rumors about that, and I think they are doing DC. So I'm not too sure what's going on with that, if they have that like licensing or whatnot. But as of right now, again, I haven't seen it drop, but I'm sure they have tons more. I heard they have like manga, so it's like anime and stuff. So that's pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Absolutely. Now, here's a question from Nate. He's asking because he says he hasn't started using VeVe yet. He wants to know, is it user friendly?
Mm, yeah, I would say it's pretty user friendly, right? Like, I mean, there's what exactly do you mean by like user friendly though?
That's a good question. As somebody who just started VeVe like a couple of weeks ago, I think one of my biggest complaints if I have to have a complaint, is that sometimes it just doesn't update. I have to back out of the app and
Mhm.
go back in just to get things updated for me.
Okay. Yes.
But it's still, go ahead.
Yeah, I see that problem a lot. I don't know, it doesn't do that for me either. They always try to tweet and say whether or not, to update, but they tend to do it way after, like maybe after a drop or something, and then they'll mention it. So if you do want to keep up to date with that, it's best if you could either maybe their Instagram or Twitter would be a nice way to just keep. I don't know why it doesn't update automatically though.
Perfect. Here's another question for you. So you've been really successful with getting drops. I know a lot of us haven't been as successful as you, me included. If you had to give your best tips for being successful with drops, what would they be?
Um, Man, it's hard, but again, depending on, I find that again, a lot of iPhone users have the luck, but I guess as Candace said, she's running an iPhone and hasn't had any chances yet. But what I do, like, do you try to time it, Candace? I'll use you because I could obviously hear how
Sure.
you go about it.
Okay, so what I normally do is I will come in a couple of seconds before. So I'll leave the
Mm-hmm.
app when I'm about a minute to it. Then I'll come in so that the app is all fresh, up to date. Because
Okay.
I notice that sometimes if I am in there too long, there's something funky going on with the countdown, like it's moving too fast.
Yeah.
Or
Mm-hmm. That
so
happens.
I will do that. I'll leave. I'll come back in, and then I try to time it as I'm watching it. The second I see zero, I start to move because I'm trying to get in there to be
Okay.
as
Yeah.
quickly as possible.
Yeah.
Um, then after that, I can keep on hitting it, but sometimes I'll back out again and come back in. But every time I do that, it always just says sold out and doesn't give me an opportunity to hit it anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm not 100% sure if I should ever back out, or if I should just stay on there as long as it's giving
Mm-mm.
me the opportunity.
To buy, yeah. So never back out. That's number one.
Hmm.
Um, Before, so when I started, so as you said, so you missed the initial drop at, let's say 11 o'clock. You were able to still get a comic book right after, so you could literally just keep pressing it over and over and over, and at some point you'd get it. That's how it was. But as of
Hmm.
right now, every 4 minutes you're able to get a drop. So I think
Okay.
Neil the other day was able to get one at 18 minutes. I had got one at, I think, a few at 4 minutes recently. So it's possible. You just have
Hmm.
to stay. Again, as long as you have the time, try.
Right.
Just keep trying for it. That's the main part.
Okay. So with timing, if it's going to be every 4 minutes, then say at 11:04,
Yeah.
start going in again, and then
Yeah. Exactly.
11:08, and then
Yeah.
12.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's
So, but
interesting.
with that, you want to use, like, there's a lot of timing, like links and stuff that you could use to kind of catch the timer. Right. There's no timer there anymore on the app as after the drop. So you kind of want to be able to time it and get yourself prepared for that.
Hmm.
But what I do, I spam, like I kind of have it set up so that when I click the buy button and that pop up, again, for those who use the app, they'll probably understand what I mean. But there's an OK button. It basically aligns, so I could just keep tapping the same spot as quick as I can, and hopefully I just land it. And it's been working
Okay,
for me, right? So
well, that's pretty cool. Let me ask you this: have you ever gotten more than one drop on a single drop?
mm, the last time, like the same, no,
Yeah, because if it's dropping every four
it's been a
minutes.
while. The last time that happened was maybe like a few months ago, like, so maybe 2 months ago. I haven't had any
Okay.
luck. Not, I don't know if they had blocked it, but I think Neil had mentioned to me that he was able to do it. I just had no luck getting it. After I have gotten it, I could never get it back again.
Okay. Nate's asking about OpenSea. Do you know anything about OpenSea?
Very little bit. I'm looking at it right now, looking into it. I'm not too into it as of right now.
Right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I haven't really played a lot in the OpenSea. Um, but yeah, let's see what he's following this up with. Okay. So this is him basically going back to how user friendly is it? So is
Yeah.
it like plug and play? Like if I wanted my grandmother to use it, could she, or do you need a lot of crypto mindset to
No,
use it?
it's very straightforward to me and very easy. Like, yeah, it's really straightforward. Especially, again, once the hardest part to me would just be that buy button. Like if you're trying to get it on the
Mhm.
drop. that's the most frustrating part, and I could see why. Again, Candice and Rye and whoever else is trying, like I'm sure it's the worst feeling every time you're trying and you just want to give up. But yeah, that would be the hardest part. Other than that, the market is pretty decent. Again, if you kind of have an understanding of it, it's just
Mm-hmm.
how it rolls out and stuff. I mean, there's a whole bunch to get into, and how not to basically buy the tops and stuff in the market. But you don't really have to have a crypto mindset. Just stick to like buying what you like, and I think you do pretty well.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, a lot of us are investors, but if you're a collector, there's nothing wrong with going in there and, just collecting them.
Yeah.
Store them away. The chances are that they're going to go up in value. I mean, they
Yeah.
have been consistently going up in
Mm-hmm.
value. Let me ask you this: with everything that's going on in the markets yesterday,
Yeah.
with everything going red, have you found that sort of showing up in VeVe in some way?
Um, not really, not too much. Only thing that affects VeVe is just like whenever there's a big drop, and I don't know if maybe they haven't been dropping anything for a while, and then everyone just wants something to buy, so they start buying up everything. Yeah, it just gets crazy on there. As of recently, it's kind of gotten like way out of hand. Like there was like everything basically doubled, and it's been rough when in that sense.
Okay, understandable. And of course, the other part to VeVe is, of course, Omni. Now they're supposed to be bringing Omni into VeVe. Do you know
Mhm.
what the timetable roughly is on this?
That I don't know about the Omi part. I'm assuming it will be within a few months. I know they are working on what is called MTL, so it's a whole point system, and the Omi thing is supposed to be tied into that at some point. But I think it will be maybe the next 3-4 months from now.
Perfect. And Ryan sort of sums it up by saying, he's not into the NFTs,
Yeah,
but VeVe clicked instantly for him. And that makes a lot of sense. I
yeah,
found it. The only thing I found is a little bit of the navigation at first, trying to figure out, like, if I wanted to flip a comic, I had to figure out, well, okay, I have to go to the market, and then how do I do that? Well, no, I can't do it directly from the market. I have to go to my
yeah,
collections and do it from there.
yeah,
So there was a little bit of a learning curve, but once
yeah,
you get the hang of it, I found
yeah,
it very easy.
yeah, yeah. It's not too bad. You just gotta play around with it. I mean, yes, the app could be a little bit buggy, but yeah, I mean, I still think it's fairly decent. Like my friend's mom was able to get one on the drop today, and we didn't even get any. So, I mean, it's still like it's it's all right. I think it's workable and it's doable.
Yeah, and VeVe sounds super identical to NBA Top Shot, according to Zach. I've never tried NBA Top Shot. Have you?
Yeah, I've heard about NBA Top Shot. I know a little bit about it. Um, yeah, it's like that. I mean, a lot of people say they like VV a lot better, but that might just be me being biased. I don't know.
Mhm. And Dave D is saying, what is the best way to start using VeVe for the first time?
I think the best thing, like if you are interested in like obviously let's say some sort of collectibles, I would start off with comics. I think it's the easiest, and they never go undervalued. They've haven't ever gone under and sold under their original list price. So yeah, I would start off that way. You could just start off
Mhm.
with $6 or $7, I think it is, and get a comic. I think they drop them like most Tuesdays and Thursdays. So that's a good start. That's a good way to start out.
And one of the things I've noticed is that even though they drop them for $6 and $7, by that afternoon they're usually up, 20 or plus.
Yes, and that's
So,
depending on so like commons that well a couple months ago it wasn't like that. Like um I bought a book on the market, and again the market is your best friend as much as you think, oh, I don't want to pay the $2 extra for it, but the real money that you could actually make, like I mean, getting landing on a drop and hitting something good is obviously amazing, but you could make a ton of money on the market as well, which that's what I've been doing. So I bought like
mhm.
a ton of the same comic that was really cheap, with a long-term mindset of, okay, hopefully by June this comic will be worth $20. I bought 95 of them, and look, 2 months later, it's
Was that the Young Avengers one?
yeah. So like now
Okay.
I'm just holding. I'm like, okay, I guess I might as well hold to like $50 because it just
Hmm.
blew up so fast, and I don't think it's gonna go down not back to $8 or $9 anytime soon. So
No, and you got to look at too that Young Avengers was the first appearance of Kate Bishop, and after
Yeah.
the Hawkeye on Disney Plus came out and introducing
Hmm.
Kate Bishop, there may be more interest in Kate.
Yeah.
So that's a
Yeah.
possibility there.
Yeah. And anyone interested in obviously Marvel movies and stuff, you know what happened with the Avengers. I'm sure at some point we will see a Young Avengers movie. So I mean, why not? That's why I got it. So it
Absolutely.
played out good for me. But
It does seem,
everything turned out pretty nice on the app. As long as you bought anything, it went up.
yeah, no, it does seem like they're actually setting up for a Young Avengers because you've got Kate Bishop and you've
Hmm.
also, they're going to be doing Ironheart as well. That's going to be another Disney Plus series. So I think they're really moving in that direction for sure.
Yeah.
And we got Panda in the house. Hey, Panda, welcome to the show. Always good to see Panda. I'm just trying to think of what would be another really good series that they could sort of do what they did with uh, the last Spider-Man one, because that was just fantastic. There's
Um.
so many. There's just so many good series
there-
within it.
Yeah. There's a lot. I mean, what is it called? Some people do like Miles Morales, which I didn't know
Mhm.
too much about it. I was on the app for that. I never purchased it. My cousin,
Mhm.
I feel like he mentioned it to me. I never bought it, and now it's like way out of my range, and I don't think I'm gonna go and purchase it now.
Well, here's the funny thing. I was reading Ultimate comics back then
Hmm.
because basically the whole Ultimate line, the general idea was Marvel was like, well, we've been running Spider-Man for so long and all of our characters for so long. Let's just have like an own little fresh universe, brand new, fresh start for everybody. And so they come out with the Ultimate universe. So Spider-Man's going along doing his thing. It's a good story, and then all of a sudden they kill him. It's like, what? Wait a minute, how can you kill Spider-Man? And then enter Miles Morales. And at first, of course, people are like, wait a minute, you can't do that. Spider-Man's Peter Parker, not this little kid. But they wrote him really well, and I think he caught on really, really well.
Yeah.
So
That.
I'm
Yeah.
kind of in the camp right now that I just want to see Miles Morales in the live action because I think that
Yeah.
would be just awesome.
Yeah, I think it would do great. And again, like the books do
Mhm.
so well. I mean, holding one is probably like even the physical copy must be amazing to hold. And
Mm.
yeah, I wish I could get my hands on one.
Yeah, so that might be a good. Have they brought any Miles Morales out yet in VeVe? I don't think I've
Yes,
seen any.
there
Oh, have they?
is. And with
Oh.
with that, so every single cover. So you see how there's commons and uncommons for those who use
Hmm.
VV app and understand what it is that I'm saying. So the uncommons and the rare, ultra rares, all of the Miles Morales covers are actual physical covers. So they came out with rarities and so they're quite expensive.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool then.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't even mind having them do like. This is one of the interesting things. I know right now they're just sort of doing the big issues,
Yeah.
first appearances type things, but eventually they're going to run out of first appearances, and I'm
Yeah.
hoping they're going to start them backtracking because it would actually, I think, as a former collector, I think it would be really cool to hold like a whole series.
Yeah.
Used to be my goal. My goal when I was a collector was to have every New Mutant that came out, and I was, I think, one episode, one issue away from having all of them, and
Hmm.
that was kind of frustrating. But
Yeah. No,
so
it's
I
That's
go
a
ahead.
that's a good plan. That's definitely a really good plan that you have there. And yeah, again, if you like it, go
Mhm.
ahead and pick it up. Right? It doesn't hurt to hold it.
Exactly. Well, the mindset of a collector is a lot of them would buy, multiple copies. So
Hmm.
copies that they would save and let them get up in value. And then, of course, there's always that one reading copy
Yeah.
because you get a bunch of comic geeks together, and well, you got to talk the talk.
Yeah.
And if you're not reading them, then it's you're not really catching on. Um, Here's an interesting little story. What kind of got me into comic books is I had a friend who was into comic books, and he was like, "Yeah, they're going to have this really huge story coming out that's going to go crazy in value." I was like, What do you mean? What's the story?" It's called Death in the Family. It was a DC series. It
Hmm.
was Batman when the Joker killed the original Robin.
Hmm.
So, I think it was a 4 issue set, and so I bought like three. I think it was 3 copies of the whole thing, one to read, and the other two I put away. And within a couple of years, these comic books that were like a buck 25 each, I was selling like the first part for almost $100. It was just like, a huge return on investment. So that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
So
is.
when I see the prices the way they rise in VeVe, that's actually not that unusual in the world of comic collecting.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of neat.
Especially with the comic trend, I don't know. Like, again, I don't want to say it's like financial advice or anything, but um, I feel like the prices are quite low. Like for some of the things, like for a Young Avengers, I'm looking at. I don't know what the actual print of a physical copy is, but I'm sure it's way more than 30,000. So for like me buying them at $8 or $10, I don't feel like that's really much of a you know of a
Yeah,
price.
that's really not that bad.
Yeah.
And considering the way they're going up, it's definitely a good investment for sure. Do you think that VeVe, because where you've got a different mindset with collectors, do you think it might be like bear market proof by any chance? Because
I
that's a thought that came into my head the other day, and I was thinking, oh, that's an interesting thought.
yeah. I thought about it, and I think I honestly think the VeVe collectibles would be fine. I don't see why. I mean, maybe it'd take a little bit of a hit, but I don't see it being a drastic change.
Okay. Oh, and Dave D says, I have a comic well read, but it is the
Mm,
introduction of Bam Bam from the Flintstones. Okay, yeah, some people have them. I mean, some people have your Archies and your Betty and Veronicas,
yeah.
and
The Archies were nice. I like those.
they're actually fun to read.
Yeah.
Sometimes the Archie comics did go a little bit dark with Betty, and that was cool. Um, but for me, it was always the superheroes. Superheroes were just really cool,
Yeah.
and some of the stories were pretty awesome. Um, I'm kind of excited now with the Fantastic Four movie in the works, like an
Hmm.
actual one, a Marvel version.
Yeah.
I know that there's been 2 reboots already of it, and they weren't bad, but they just weren't great at the same time. Do you have any
Hmm.
thoughts on that?
Yeah. I didn't really. I didn't even know there was anything coming out. Yeah, but I mean, I only watched one other Fantastic Four that I know of. I don't know if there was two, maybe, but yeah, that I thought it was cool. I was a kid, so
Hmm. Yeah, there used to be some cartoons, and they used to have a little robot and things
yeah.
like that. Um, Interesting. I mean, the Fantastic Four have a really interesting history,
Yeah.
and there's definitely a lot of great stories. At one point, actually, Ben Grimm the Thing left the Fantastic Four for a while, and
Hmm.
She-Hulk took his place for a while. So she's been around. She's been in the
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, in the Avengers, and
Yeah.
has a series coming out as well on Disney
Yeah.
Plus.
Yeah. I heard of that. I think that's gonna be awesome. Can't wait for that.
Hmm.
That's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, and that might be, if they decide to do number one of She-Hulk, that would be a good one to drop into VeVe, I think,
Yeah.
because I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind having a copy of that.
Yeah. I would like that one. And there was one that dropped the other week. I think was the Thing. No, Hulk versus the Thing. So from Fantastic
Yeah,
Four, I thought that was a really great book. I picked up like 3 or 4 of them. I think it's going to do
yeah,
really well. I love that
yeah.
book.
There were
Just
a
the
couple
cover
of
itself was really awesome.
Yeah, there were a couple of really big matchups. Thing and Hulk, and Hulk and Wolverine used to be a big matchup too,
Really, yeah, that's really cool.
which was kind of neat. So I imagine you'll
Yeah,
see that one pop up as well. So Panda, so these NFTs would be used in Web3. I have no idea what I'm talking about, but I keep hearing things like this. Um, Perhaps Web3 is basically Web 1 is just your simple web pages, mostly static. Web 2 is when you start using things like Ajax and you get a little bit more dynamic. So those websites that allow you to move things to different places and you can
hmm,
sort of reorganize them. Web 3 is going to be a lot more virtual. So
yeah,
it's not going to be the metaverse, but it's going to be metaverse like in
hmm,
that, there'll be a lot more ways to interact with it.
yeah,
So yeah, NFTs will definitely be a part of it. So that's a possibility, Panda. Definitely a possibility. The friggin' Oracle, especially when they can be removed from VeVe, a lot might get lost. So this is a good cause because this is good cause value to go up.
hmm. That's true.
Okay. Yeah, and that's the interesting thing. Like, you can't just go into VeVe and buy comics from VeVe. because they're in the hands of all of the collectors. So you
Yeah.
pretty much have to use the market. And that's kind of cool too.
Yeah, that is very true.
Other than back in the days, the collector, sometimes you'd go into like a Kmart or something, and they'd have a comic bin, and you'd go looking through it, and you'd find one that's just like, it's worth a ton, and it's in
Yeah.
half decent shape, and you're like, okay, yeah. And then usually it was a bargain bin, so
Yeah.
they'll give it to you for like a quarter, and then you take it down to the comic shop, and you sell it for like 20-30 bucks.
Yeah. That's
So
pretty
that
cool.
used to be one of the awesome things. It was like, yep, free money. Panda, I see people selling Jordan Nike shoes as NFT. Thoughts? Absolutely. I have some thoughts.
I've never heard
Nike,
of it, but yeah.
well, Nike, back in the day, in the very early days of the NFTs, I think it was like 2017, 2018, they used to actually sell you a virtual copy of your sneaker, and it was an NFT. And basically, it was, for them, it was an authentication NFT, because by having that virtual copy of your sneaker, you could prove that you had an authentic Nike. So that was how they used it. I don't know if that's how Jordan's going to use it, but Nike did that originally that way. So that was really cool, I thought, and a kind of a crafty way, because when people think of NFTs, we're thinking of the collecting here today, but it is used for other things, a lot of other things. Like an NFT is unique. It's a lot like a snowflake, because the smart contract written into the blockchain for that NFT, they can be completely different. And that will give it a lot of uniqueness, so that whether you can't duplicate it. That's why it's called non-fungible. Something fungible would be like Bitcoin or Ethereum, something that doesn't change other than in price, which seems to be going down. But anyway, it'll be interesting to see how they use it, and if Nike is still going with it as an authentication NFT. That would be kind of cool to see. But what do you think will happen when gems can be transferred to Omi? That's the biggest question. What do you think? What do you put your crystal ball out for a moment here, Journey, and tell me what you think is going to happen.
I think that they already said they're not going to be doing that, but yeah, I don't think that would be very good for the market. But yeah, I think they had mentioned that in the AMA. They're not going to have that happen. There won't be gem. I think you'll be able to do Omi to NFT, but I don't think you. Then I guess you could do. I'm sure you could probably find a way.
Yeah, I mean, because that's the thing. A lot of people have a good amount of money locked up within, so there has to be a way to get it out.
Because then you could go and spend your gems on an NFT, then trade the NFT for Omi, and then there you go. So I guess there might be a little bit of a way around it with that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does make sense, especially if you can do an ownership trade of the NFT.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So Rai is saying, if they allow gems to Omi instead of just Omi to gems, I'm going to be so happy. I think a lot of people would be happy, especially those who want to sort of move money out.
Yeah.
Have they confirmed we will be able to transfer the gems to Omi? That would be game changing. So I think you just kind of answered that one.
Yeah, I just don't know when that's gonna happen. I just feel like we might be a little bit of away from that. Maybe a couple of months. We might not even see it till the summer, to be honest. I don't know.
All right. Here's Panda. What are your guys' favorite NFTs that you have or don't have? Well, while you think about that, I will say that right now my favorite, I think, at this moment is the parts of the Spider-Man episodes I have from this current run. To me, those are just awesome. I really love that story. Now, ones that I don't have would be, well, as I mentioned, I'd love to have She-Hulk 1 if they come out with that. And I think there's right now, there's one New Mutants out there. I would like to get my hands on that one. And I wouldn't mind having more New Mutants, because that's just one of my favorites when it comes to collecting for some reason. They're not my favorite characters, but I've always loved that series.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, for me, well, as of right now, I think it's just going to be my Homer and Bart, because I got really lucky with that, and it's a really low mint. I don't know how you feel about low mints, Candace, but yeah, I think it's a really
Well,
cool NFT, and my coolest one, the very first one that I guess really made a big difference for me. So
mhm. I like the low mints because to me, I mean, it doesn't matter to me personally, but I know it matters to people who are paying their money.
and that's
So
yeah,
I will, when I'm trying to buy, if I'm trying to buy one that I'm flipping, I try to get it as the lowest number as I can. Usually, as soon as it gets under 10,000, you get in
yeah,
there and it's bought already. You get in there, it's bought already.
yeah. Hmm.
So there's a lot
And I
of
did,
vultures just sitting there.
yeah, I did want to ask you. So like obviously with comic mints and stuff, is there any specific numbers you go for and stuff? Because I like to go for like significant years. That is something I like. And again, not everyone has their own, some people might just want to buy the floor and that's it. That's cool. But for me, a lot of them I have like some pretty nice years. Like the Spider-Man first appearance of Green Goblin, I got
Mhm.
2001. The very first time I think the movie came out was just about then, right? So I find
Okay.
that really cool to hold, and I'm really happy
Mhm.
holding it just because of that, both that mint number and obviously having that
That
book, right? So
Yeah,
I don't
that
know.
connection
So
to
what
the
are your
movie.
thoughts with that?
Well, it's a good. I think it's a good philosophy. It's kind of really weird though because I look and give me 2 seconds. I'm going to destroy a bot. Goodbye, bot. Um, no, I think it's a really good concept, and it really comes down to if I had a meaningful date connected to a
Mm,
specific comic. Yeah, I would love to get that date in the number.
yeah.
So that would be really, really cool. I've heard some stories of some people getting some incredible dates that
Hmm.
really meant a lot to them.
Yeah.
But at this moment right now, where I'm sort of thinking, I've got my collector's hat on, but I've also got my investor's hat on.
Hmm.
I just know people pay more for the lower the number. So
Yeah.
the lower the number I can get, the happier I am at this moment.
Yeah.
So, I would love to have at least one of them with a number one day, but I
Yeah.
know that that's pretty insane to get that.
Yeah. Yeah, and also with that, I know Rye had mentioned it to me once. He was looking to try to see if there was like a serial number that you could go with the comic book. But what I did find was that on every graded book, they always tend to put the date that the book came out, and every book has it.
Mhm.
So I did actually match, I think one or two of them, on the app, and they're pretty big books. So I don't know. I wonder how they're gonna do
Mhm.
because I have the matching numbers to match
Interesting.
that. So I think one was it was Avengers 47. It's like Black Knight. The movie's coming out very soon, and
Mhm.
yeah, I got the month and the year lined up, and I'll just hold. I paid like $10 for it. I'll see where it goes.
It's interesting. That reminded me of something, Spider-Man. So you've probably, if you've seen a comic book, you've seen this little thing that says approved by the Comics Code.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Interestingly enough, one Spider-Man issue does not have it. And so I'd love
Mm,
to see that one come out on VeVe. And the reason it didn't have it is I think this comic came out in like the 70s, and it was all about drug use.
yeah.
And they were pretty sure that the comic code was not going to approve it because of the really adult themes in it.
Mm,
And so they removed it for that one episode, for that one issue. So I think that one would be a really interesting one to see on VeVe. I can't remember the exact one, but if you were to Google it, Spider-Man issue, uh, no comic code on it, it'll come up, I think,
yeah.
because it's part of the lore of Spider-Man's
Yeah.
history.
Yeah. And that
Uh,
sounds kind of interesting. It must be a pricey one in the physical copy.
I imagine it would be. I imagine I've
Yeah.
never seen a physical
Yeah.
copy, so
A lot
um,
of these books like that are quite
oh
up there,
god.
especially if it's an older book as well.
Well, if you had a mint copy of Action Comics #1,
Yeah.
um, yeah, I think the last one was on auction. It sold for millions.
Yeah.
So, and that was, of course, everybody hopefully knows the first appearance of Superman.
Yeah.
Now, the first appearance of Spider-Man was in Amazing Fantasy #15, and that also will go for quite a chunk of change. Probably the most expensive Marvel comic,
Yeah.
for sure. So we have dancers in the house. They're a little late, but they've made it to the party nonetheless.
Yeah.
Don't forget to hit the like button, absolutely. And if anybody here hasn't subscribed, you can hit that too while you're down there. And MC, are we ever going to be able to take our NFTs out of VeVe? Sorry if this has been talked about already.
They are working on it. I don't think everything's going to be
Mhm.
coming out. I think so. They did have some artists like make some NFTs and they put them on the app. I think those will be able to go to Immutable X very soon.
Mhm.
And I think like really really soon, maybe within a month or maybe less. Uh, yeah, that's what I know so far.
Oh, absolutely. All right, Panda's got a question for us. Marvel or DC?
I'll take Marvel.
All right, I'm gonna Marvel's my favorite,
Yeah,
but my favorite character is Superman. Just the whole Superman mythos. I find it really really intriguing. So I love that mythos. But overall, I think Marvel owns DC.
yeah.
So that would be my answer. Oh, we already had that one. That a cooler dude. I like the one with Walt Disney and Mickey Mouse. Seems like a collectible to me. Holy banana bread.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Did
That
you hear
one's
about that one? It went insane price wise.
yes. I was there for that one. I did not land it on the drop. I was at work. I didn't go for rebounds, and it was the same thing as Homer and Bart. A lot of people told me that if you stayed and you continued trying, you would have got
Mm-hmm.
it. So I really messed up on that one. And I do hold a lot of my Disney stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was rough. But that one, yeah, that's a really nice one. Really nice.
Do you know what that one's going for now? I know it was
Uh,
like a lot, but
maybe 15K gems.
yeah,
Yeah,
that is definitely
yeah.
another
That's
interesting one.
that's a blue chip on the app, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you get that one, that's kind of cool. Amazing Spider-Man issue 1.4 million. There we go. So,
Wow.
and that's well, I don't know if he means if that was in if that's like Amazing Spider-Man #1 or if that's our Fantasy 15. So it'll be interesting.
Oh, also
Interesting.
I did want to mention for anyone that is looking to get into VV, it is one gem. I think they have it on the app. I think it's supposed to be $1. So if you
Mhm.
are in Canada, it's gonna cost quite a bit more to go ahead and purchase the gems.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's also insanely easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
That's
you can
that's the
get your
good part.
gems with a credit card or with Google Pay or
And when you're ready
Apple Pay.
to go ahead and sell, I guess you get a little bit of extra because it seems as a bonus,
Hmm.
from the US to Canadian. So that's pretty nice.
That's kind of cool. What do you think the future is for Vivi?
Um, I don't know. Like, I just feel like, I mean, it could go anywhere. I really think it's gonna do really well in the long run, and I'm just gonna stick around, keep doing what I'm doing, and I guess like flipping what I can, take some profits, flip what I can. But yeah, I think I'm very excited for the VV verse. I'm not too sure when we're gonna see that, but hopefully at the end of the year.
Okay, so what is the Vivi verse slated to look like from what you've heard so far?
That I have I have no idea what to expect for it.
Okay, that sounds pretty. I
Yeah,
guess that
I
sounds
don't know
cool.
if they wanted to be like. Well, I'm not too sure what that Ethereum based one is. Decentraland. I don't know if it's gonna be something like that. I'm assuming
Mhm.
it will be. Everyone's gonna have their own. I guess right now you have your vault where you could keep all your collectibles. It's gonna be something like that. I think very soon you'll be able to actually have users come and enter into your vault and look at your collectibles and I don't know play games. We'll see.
Mhm.
I guess as that rolls out, but yeah, I'm
Yeah,
really excited
well,
for it.
it'd be interesting to see. I mean, because that sounds very metaverse
Yeah,
like.
and
So,
I heard that they are working with Apple like almost on a weekly basis. So I don't
mhm.
know. Who knows what could happen? It could be pretty nice a year
Well,
from now.
they've got the licensing, they've got the best partners out there. So I definitely have high expectations for
Yeah,
where VV can go. Um, I can't predict where they're going to go because I don't know what they're planning, but they've got the right people. So I think the future is going to be very bright for VV
yeah.
in total. That's kind of awesome. Is there any other type of collectibles that you do at all or outside of VV?
I do. Nothing else like NFT wise. No, not just what I do have at home, and that's it. So like again, Pokemon. I do have some. The only actual physical like collectibles that I have like that is like a bobblehead or something is Loki's. I have like three of those, three different variants, and I love them. The Loki's my favorite character, so yeah, I'm really excited to get some more of those. But yeah, other than that, a few comics and stuff.
Yeah,
I
I think
haven't.
the Loki alligator's going for quite a bit on VeVe.
Yeah, I had one and I did flip that one. It was sad, but I needed the gems.
Yeah, absolutely. Dave's asking if you can buy Drems Gillette directly from VeVe. Yes, Dave, you can.
Mhm.
So pretty basic with that. Um, okay. Oh, Pokemon. That's where I was going. Now, do we know? I heard rumors that VeVe was looking to acquire the Pokemon license. Do you know if this is true, or where that stands?
As of right now, they haven't 100% confirmed it. I mean, there's little things coming out here and there that you know, and just some of their team members talking about it, and they're basically hinting that Pokemon's coming. But I mean, anyone could go ahead and do that just to push their, push the app and push their community. But I don't know. I don't know.
Mhm.
They haven't confirmed. So I mean, everyone's really excited about it. It will cause quite a big market dump if they were to announce it tomorrow. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised though.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be. I think that would be cool. I think that would be a brilliant move for them.
But I do think the app might need a little bit of work before that because I know it's really hard for people. So I, yeah, I think it'd
Mhm.
be nice to have it more fair, and which the new drop system is coming out, and we'll see how that roll turns out. And then maybe from there, I don't know, maybe they'll decide, okay, it's working out pretty nice. All the users
Oh,
are fairly happy.
now when is the new drop system coming into effect?
I think either next week or maybe a week after that. It's not very far.
Mhm. Do we know roughly how it's going to work or how it's going to differ
It
from the current one?
it's going to right now. It's based off of basically speed, right? So whoever has the fastest ping, whoever taps the button faster, basically gets the drop. Which yeah, that
Mhm.
really sucks. But um, right now, I think they're planning a lottery style drop system. So you might get like a position that you might be like furthest back in the line, and you're just not probably not going to end up getting it.
Mhm.
There's a 30,000 edition comic drop. You might be like 60,000. So you're not going to get it. Most likely. So I think they're going to give you like a number or something, and they might email you when it's your turn, and you'll have like a little time frame where could go and purchase that.
Okay, that's kind of cool. And then if you miss it, it would go to the next person.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think that makes it a little bit more fair.
Yeah.
Though it would suck if you were one of those people who is very good
Yeah.
and getting in nice and early and getting
Yeah.
all of these drops, of course.
But I mean, there are like what they say are bots on the app already. I don't know if that the queue system will really help with that bots or
Mm,
that raffle, because then you could make multiple accounts and try as many times as you want to, I guess, get in, right? So I don't know.
hmm I know. And the friggin' Oracle saying sell digital cards, then play rooms for the game. Okay, that would be interesting. I guess that might be just a way that they can sort of set up
Hmm.
the VV verse.
Yeah.
Wow, there's a lot of V's in that word.
Yeah.
um,
It gets kind of confusing when you're typing it out.
yeah, absolutely. A lot of ups and downs, almost like the stock market. Now, stepping just a little bit outside of the collectibles, now you're also an investor. Now, where's your biggest portfolio? Do you have more on the stock side, more on the crypto side?
It's all in NFTs now. It's all
Oh,
gone.
okay. Oh, so
Yeah, yeah,
you've moved
yeah. I've been
completely
kind
out.
I sold all my H bar a couple, maybe about
Oh
a month
dear.
ago or so, and yeah, I took some profits there, and yeah, I went all in on Vivi. I guess it
Hmm.
just worked out for me, so it's been good.
Oh,
Stocks, I
that's
will
good.
get back into stocks very slowly soon, but
Hmm.
yeah, right now I think I'm just gonna start fresh.
Right. Okay. So just sort of move back into stocks at some point.
Yeah.
Did you ever get into crypto at all, or?
I was in and out. Had some Ethereum. I think I I switched it around quite often. I think most of it was in H bar, and then as it went up, I sold it, and that was it.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. So guys, we have about 10 minutes left with Journey. So Journey is only able to be with us tonight for an hour. So if you guys got any questions for Journey, drop them in. So once Journey leaves, I'm going to do something really different. I'm going to drop my invite link. Whoever the first person who wants to take it is, that's who we'll be talking to for the last half hour. But we'll get to that after Journey is gone. Oh, and he's talking about for the Pokemons.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it'd be kind of cool, I think, if you could do
Yeah.
like a Pokemon Go, but do it in the metaverse.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like I've heard something like that, and that Vivi might be doing so, but they would have to have Pokemon to go ahead and do that. So, you walk around, but it's in the metaverse, and you could find
Hmm.
Pokemon, which would actually be really awesome. But I don't know. Again, the Pokemon thing, I haven't.
It would also be a lot
Yeah,
safer than when they did Pokemon
yeah,
Go.
yeah. I know that a ton, real much safer.
Yep. And the freaking Oracle is what? No H bar? That came as a shock to me too, Ken.
I might have like 200 H bar that I'm just forgetting about. I'll have to buy some back, I think, eventually. But
Hmm.
I
Well,
I kept it in there just in case it decides to go to, I don't know, some crazy
yeah,
number
see,
while I'm out.
even yesterday, I was watching an interview, I think, with Kevin O'Leary, and he was just listing off some cryptos that he thought were worthwhile. And in that list was H bar. And
Hmm.
of course, as soon as I heard that, I was thinking of both you and Panda. It's like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like
And
H
me and Panda were
bar.
at it for a while.
I know. It used to be one of these things that it wasn't officially a chat or a live stream until H bar was mentioned. And this one is now officially a live stream because H bar has been mentioned. Oh,
Yep, there we got Panda.
we've got Panda going. H bar to $1. Holy banana bread. We've stirred the H bar nest. That's kind of cool. So any more questions here for our guest of honor? Drop them in. His time is running out. So we got about 8 minutes left. If they don't have any questions for you, I will have some questions for you. So
No
you just
problem.
recently got married.
Yep.
That was what was that, like 4 or 5 months ago? I mean,
Yeah.
time flies fast.
Yeah. It was during the summer.
How does the new wife feel about VeVe and the collecting and all of this?
Oh, I basically have her tapping it every single day that she can. She hates it because she feels like she's wasting her time half the time. But when she does hit it, she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm keeping this." So,
Okay,
she's
that's
yeah,
cool.
but she kind of likes it as well. She thinks it's kind of cool. I mean, it's interesting. I like it. I like
Hmm.
holding my collectibles. And
Yeah,
she's
and
all right with
Jill
it.
is congratulating you on getting married.
Thank you.
Now my next question is a good question. So you've got a website, you got a YouTube channel all about VeVe. Tell everybody about it and why they need to get over there and subscribe to you.
Yeah, well, I try to go over again tons of tips and tricks and how I go about obtaining my drops, and yeah, we just price predictions overall, what I'm looking at in the market. It's a whole new world in VV and the collectible scene. It's yeah, you'll learn a ton just watching.
Hmm. Now the two guys that you're doing the channel with, Cash and is it Next?
Um, Cash and KD Keenan.
Katie.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, okay, so are they regulars? Are they part of it? Is it like a trio type thing or?
So me and so KD, like yeah, he's my best buddy.
Oh,
Uh,
cool.
we're gonna be like the main ones on the channel. I think Cash will pop in and out. We kind of have a challenge going. So Rye basically inspired it with his I think I was it $100 to 1K challenge with stocks. So yeah, that's what I started with VV. I think we started out 2 weeks ago. They started with I think $100, and yeah, they're up already. Well, we'll say gems. So started out with 100 gems, and now it's worth like 1K gems. So that's pretty good, and that's just flipping. They didn't
Hmm.
add any more in, so that's just with what they landed and what they bought from the market have flipped their way up.
That's absolutely cool. So, guys, if you guys are interested in his channel, the very top link in the extra information below is, well, it's Journey's channel. For people who don't know how to click on that link, why don't you just tell them where they need to go?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's a little bit confusing, but it's what next with
I'm just
E
gonna
and
second. I'm gonna see if I
a
can
three instead
grab
of
the
E.
title here and just
Yeah.
drop that into chat for you. Where is your? Here it is. Oops, right there. All right. There we go. So if you guys just do a quick search on this name, it will come up for you. It's the only channel on all of the YouTubes with that spelling of next, which is kind of cool. How long has this channel been going for?
Just about 2 weeks now. It hasn't been too long. We're still getting
Okay.
used to it and getting more comfortable, and but it's a lot of fun. We're just enjoying it, going over the collectibles and just our overall like insights on the next pickup or the next
Mm-hmm.
big mover, which I do
Okay.
like tomorrow's drop. So if anyone is interested, yeah, check out our video that we had earlier today. We did go into it a bit and say our like price predictions and what we think of
Mm-hmm.
it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's drop. I do those who do have the VeVe app and have an account, I would say give it a shot for tomorrow. You never know. Like that one,
Mm-hmm.
I think is going to be a big one.
Now, what
Um,
is dropping tomorrow?
it is Batman versus Killer Croc. I don't know. I've never seen Killer Croc before, but it is the first Batman with color, and it's an FA, so a first appearance, and first appearances do amazing on that app. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that would be great.
So definitely worthwhile for people to
Yeah.
give a good old try to see if you can get it. And honestly, when it first, they have the market closed for about 30 minutes after the drop.
Yes.
So, and here's the thing, if you don't in my case, if I don't back out and back in, it'll stay locked all day.
Yeah.
So you have to sometimes back out and back in.
Yeah.
But that's one of those ones that it's not a bad idea when they first start hitting and people haven't driven the price all the way up yet. You might be able to get one for, $16 to $20 and then,
Yeah.
sit on that for a week and, you'll probably be able to flip that for quite a bit.
Yeah.
So
And
not a
actually,
bad idea.
a tip that I would give, is that if you are buying from VeVe and let's say right after the drop, let's say it's half an hour later, it opens up, always check. It's easier to show it when I could like pull up the screen, but always check back on the initial like comic page, and you could see the edition that have been delivered. Check that, and if it's like anything more than halfway or even more than quarter away, don't buy until it's pretty close to being like all delivered, because you're basically buying the top prices most of the time, like so the high prices, and as it basically it rolls out, people tend to obviously keep putting the lower and lower prices just to get their stuff
Mm-hmm.
sold. So never buy before you know yeah, you
So
just don't want to buy too
check
early.
delivered.
You just
Check.
I mean, you're better off giving it like 5 hours and then going back and making your purchase. Don't buy right away. It's I've made that mistake a few times, and I don't do it anymore. I just wait it out.
Okay,
It's
that's
yeah.
good.
You don't wanna buy the tops. Not right. I mean, it'll maybe go up eventually, but it could be pretty bad.
Right, and that makes sense. Okay, perfect. What are the plans for the channel? Like you've been doing these channels, you've been doing these challenges so far. Are you
Yeah.
just going to sort of continue the same thing? Or are there
Uh,
any big plans down the road for the channel?
for now, we're just gonna continue with that. We did go with what next because we don't know what's next, right? So we kind of we just wanted to keep it open, and maybe we might find something else we might be into. Maybe it might still be NFTs, but it won't be entirely VeVe. So we didn't want to put anything like VeVe related in as the channel title. But yeah, we'll see where it goes from there. We just enjoy like again like chatting and talking and collectibles right now. So that's kind of what we're rolling with. We just wanted to put something out there, and yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Have you looked into any of the graphic novels? Like they used to put out, Marvel used to actually drop a graphic novel for Spider-Man, for example, and each
hmm
novel would have reprints of like 6 or 7 episodes or
hmm
issues. it's a good way to sort of get caught up on the whole lore. Have
Yeah.
you checked into any of those just to sort of bring yourself up and get some good reading in?
Yeah, I haven't looked anything up as of yet. I'm still like I'm still looking into things and seeing exactly where I want to, especially with like the physical stuff, uh, where I want to put myself and position myself.
Perfect. Red Bear's enjoying the show, which is awesome. All right, so we're at that hour mark. You said you needed to go at about an hour.
Yeah,
Okay, so if you want
I
to sort of head out,
I could stick around for a bit, maybe
sure.
like 5 minutes or so.
All right. Well, what I'm going to do while we wrap things up here is I am going to drop in our invite code, and here's the rule: whoever uses it first is going to be the guest for the last half hour. So it doesn't matter who it is, unless you're like, if you're a mime, because that could be really, really bad. But if you're not a mime, then definitely, take a shot. Awesome. Okay. I've actually had this I had a strange idea for a show. Now I would need somebody to do it. What the idea was is like a sort of a mystery door show where
Yeah,
I have 5 mystery guests. Each guest maybe gets 20 minutes, but I have no clue who they are.
yeah.
So they would basically be set up by, I'd have to get somebody like Ken, for example,
Hmm.
to arrange the guests. And then every 20 minutes, I would have somebody brand new that I'm talking to, and I'd have no clue. And I just thought, I don't know why I had that crazy thought, but I think it was after I did the mystery guest show. I was like, oh, that would be really kind of cool.
Yeah, that actually sounds like it would be a little bit interesting.
Oh,
I definitely
I
watch that.
know. Oh, me too. And
Yeah.
well, I'd be on it, but if I wasn't on it, I would be watching it. Um, have you ever done any guests yet on your show at all?
Uh, Other than Neil, which joined us last night.
Oh, did he? Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
that was it. Yeah, he's pretty cool. He has lots of information. Obviously, he's been in NFTs for a while. So yeah,
Hmm.
that was really
Oh
cool.
yeah,
It was glad having him on.
Neil's pretty cool.
And
I
I liked hearing his like what he was doing on VeVe. And again, we're kind of bouncing off of each other and
mhm.
taking tips and tricks from one another. And it helps both like both my buddies with growing, I guess, their portfolio on VeVe. So yeah.
Oh, that's kind of cool. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
we
neat.
hope to maybe like once in a while have a few people that obviously like that are in on VV to maybe pop in and yeah, show us uh, find out their technique and their
Hmm.
tricks.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Okay, very neat. And I think I showed you this, but Dave D did thank us both for all of the info tonight. So thank you, Dave. Um, so that's perfect. You said you're getting back into stocks. Do you know what are your goals when you do move back into stocks? Are you looking for growth? Are you looking to get some passive income flowing?
I think it'll just be growth. I'll yeah, I'm not too
Hmm.
sure exactly how I'll start out, or maybe I might have like money just set like going into the account and I'll see how I'm gonna divide it up and what I'm gonna put it into.
Well, I'll give you a piece of advice. Don't overlook the oil industry because I was looking yesterday because I have a keto channel, so I
Hmm.
do this thing where the money I save every week I buy this XEG, which is like an oil and energy ETF. And while the entire stock market yesterday was bleeding like crazy, I looked at the XEG and it was down, but it was barely down. It was like where everybody else had a gaping wound, it had a scratch. So I'm thinking a lot of the oil industry is probably going to weather a lot of the volatility. So that might be something just to do some research on
Yeah,
before you jump into, of course. But that may be an area, a very solid area for 2022.
yeah, yeah. I hope I could get back in very soon. As of right now, I'm trying to pump my
Hmm.
VV portfolio. So
Well, once you can
yeah,
find a way to get the money off of VV, then
yeah.
you'll
Then I
have.
think I'll reposition some of my money into like stocks and hopefully some solid growth stocks.
Mhm. Yeah, that's kind of a cool thing. Now, where you mentioned they said they're not going to be sort of making it easy to sort of swap between, well, to gems to Omni.
Yeah.
Do you think this could be a concern for these people who've been stacking Omni like crazy? Because they've been expecting that to happen, thinking that's going to cause the price to explode.
I see. I feel like a lot of people again that keep up with it, they already know. Like I mean, well, those that use VeVe quite heavily, they know that they'll be able to buy the NFTs with Omi, but they've mentioned it quite a few times. They have no intentions of doing straight gem to Omi. I don't know why, but yeah, you'll be able to swap the Omi for an NFT, and then I guess you could go back and get
Mhm.
gems with it or whatever it is.
Exactly. And I think too, once you can actually move the NFTs off of VeVe as well, that will make
Yeah,
it a lot
exactly.
easier.
Yeah,
Because I mean, if you think about it, once you can move them off, if you're able to move them into other marketplaces, then you could sell them
yeah,
for pretty much whatever coin you want to,
exactly. Yeah, which
which
is
is
yeah, I can't wait
kind
for
of
that as
cool.
well. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
that's gonna
absolutely.
be
So I think
that's
that's
gonna
going to
be
be
neat.
part of the future, which is going to be really neat. Um, and I can't help but think that my good friend Polkadot's going to be involved in some way, shape, or form, because you need the cross chain to do that. And that's kind of where they're looking at. If you look at Engine and Affinity, so
Hmm.
ENJ and EFI, that's kind of the promise that they're bringing to the metaverse, is be able to just create that cross-platform movement of NFTs and things like that. So that could be really, really interesting.
Yeah,
That's what
that
I'm
does
waiting
sound.
for the most. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I think it's going to be really cool. What a lot of people seem to forget is, as we're heading towards the metaverse, is that this is a baby that hasn't even been born yet,
Yeah,
really.
yeah,
We're still growing in technology's belly.
yeah.
That sounds weird, but I'll go with it. I'll keep it.
It's still early stages. Like the whole metaverse thing and the VV verse, all like Omi, I mean VV and stuff. Like it's just all so early, and yeah,
Mhm.
I can't wait to see. I mean, a year from now, it could be so crazy, and I mean, those that are just getting it now could be an oh, amazing spot with their NFTs. I mean, you never know.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the thing. I mean, anytime you get in on something at the ground level or even before the ground level,
Yeah,
there's a lot of money to be made.
yeah,
So that's kind of, to me, that's pretty darn cool. So I think there's a great future here. I'm looking forward to seeing how this turns out. And I have a feeling you're going to see a lot more people coming into the space as well.
yeah. I think as of just yesterday or something, there was over, I don't know if it was 200,000 or 2 million users that had entered, you know, made accounts for Vivi. So that's crazy, and
Mhm.
that's why we got the massive prices that we've had as of recently. So that's pretty neat to
And
know.
I just wish there was referral codes there for Vivi, because you'd be
I
rich
do,
right now.
I really do because I think yeah, I'd be doing pretty well. I think they might
Mhm.
be working on that though. I,
That would be cool.
yeah, that'd be really nice.
And even if they don't do it in cash, they could always just do it in gems. Like,
Yeah,
hey, refer a friend, we'll give you
yeah,
5 gems.
yeah. I'd be totally fine with that.
Hmm.
Gems, Omi, I don't know. I'll take anything.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I think that would definitely be very, very cool. I heard bats will be able to reproduce
Oh,
soon,
the
or
labbits.
labbits. Oh,
So
labbits.
so the labbits you'll be able to breed them very soon. I think that is coming at the end of the year, which the
Hmm.
year just started. So I mean, prices for those things are going to probably continue to grow.
Now, where are
Um,
these labbits? I haven't heard of them before.
they are on Vivi.
Oh,
They
are they?
are
Oh, are those little sort of hoppy like things with the ears and almost
they
fairy like?
um
Because I've seen some
I,
things
I
like that,
I
but
don't know how to describe them. They just kind of look weird. uh, They
okay.
look
And
like
they're
rabbits though, so and they all have like
okay.
different patterns and designs. One has a knife in its back. One you could
Hmm.
see through it, so it's like kind of like transparent. You could see like its organs. I don't know.
Okay, so you're going to be
It's
able
cool.
to breed
Breed them.
these
So it
then.
would be. It
That's
makes it a little
cool.
bit. They're already a small addition size for many of them.
Hmm.
So I guess it'll make it more scarce, right? Because you could breed things in many different ways, and I guess I don't know.
Mhm.
So edition size will go down. They might be used for I think a play to earn game I have heard, which is VeVe is working on as well. But again, it's a lot of work in progress stuff that's happening behind the scenes. We haven't seen anything yet. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on behind the scenes.
Absolutely. And this is the second week in a row that rabbits have come up in chat. Although last week it was a different type of breeding. It was rabbits and cats for cabbits. So this week we're now moving to a metaverse rabbit that you can breed called a labbit. That's kind of cool. I don't know how expensive they are, but I wouldn't mind having one and trying to breed. It just sounds like that would be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I think the cheapest one you could get is probably $100.
Okay.
Yeah, but
And do
again,
they,
you probably don't want two of the same one, right? Because then you might
yeah.
not get any different colorway. So I think that's what people are going for, the having the different and the mix and match. So
Mm-hmm.
you kind of have to see what I don't know how it's
Or,
gonna work.
I mean, it might even be really interesting if you could get an unusually colored male rabbit that you could then just sort of charge people for some gems for,
And
for an
and
hour of time with the
mhm.
rabbit.
Well, I think with that, I think that they said once you breed them, so it's almost merging them, and then the two initial ones basically
Oh.
become one, and that's it. So it cuts the supply down.
Oh,
So the
okay.
more you do that, it just I don't know. I guess that one
That's
could go ahead and breed with the next one now, and the supply is just gonna I don't know.
so I
It's
mean,
just gonna be
eventually
crazy.
there'll just be one rabbit. It'll be a
Yeah,
really big rabbit,
yeah,
but
yeah. So that could be the case. I'm not too sure.
hmm,
I
that's
would.
actually kind of
Yeah,
cool. That's a
yeah,
burning technique. Wow. Okay, that's got my mind going a little bit like,
yeah.
huh, neat.
Yeah, you could look
Okay.
into them. They're called labbits. I mean, the prices have already started going up. It's hard to say. Like again, if gaming and stuff comes out for it,
Hmm.
I guess I could see the big thing about it. But those like Batman's and all the other like
Hmm.
Marvel stuff that are really high in prices,
And
those ones
MC
I could
says
still
that
understand. But the labbits, I'm not too sure as of right now.
MC says she has two, so hopefully I have both gender.
I think
Well,
they are genderless. They had said that.
uh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, then
So
apparently you have two, but they may just become one.
yeah.
So that's kind of funny. It's like if you want to keep your rabbits, your labbits, if you want to keep your labbits as they are, then you're gonna have to do something. Just don't store them together.
Yeah.
I imagine there's probably some mechanism so that way there you don't accidentally breed them together, but still, that's funny to think about.
I mean, I'm sure you could accidentally do it, but yeah, I'm sure it could happen.
And also, don't feed your labbits after midnight. That's just that would actually be, that would be a really good NFT type thing. Is that if you could get the licensing for gremlins,
Hmm.
and then you could sort of build some of those rules into the way you reproduce them and the way you
Yeah,
create all kinds of bizarre ones.
yeah. Oh,
That
that'd make sense. That'd be
that
really cool.
would. Yeah, like, if you got them wet or if you fed them after midnight, you
Yeah,
could use your local time or else you could just standardize the time for the world. But that would be kind of a neat concept.
yeah. I don't know, and that's why I do like VeVe. I mean, it's to me, it's just like if they have a great backing and everyone's just coming up with ideas, who knows what could happen next year and just down the line. It could just be amazing. Big things could really happen with VeVe.
Hmm. Oh, absolutely.
And
I
just
think
the whole
that's,
NFT space, the metaverse sounds awesome.
I've been excited. I've been dreaming of the metaverse for a long time. As soon as I pretty much learned of computers, I was like, okay, there has to be a way that we can have that. And I didn't know it was a metaverse, but I sort of visioned a future where we could just do everything online and have virtual offices and virtual play areas
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I'm like totally on board with the metaverse. It's like they can't bring it fast enough
Yeah.
because I think it's just going to be so, so cool.
Yeah, I really can't wait as well. I just wonder what it's gonna really be like, but I hope to see it very soon and give it a try.
Well, I don't think you'll have too much longer to wait. Microsoft's is going full bull. I imagine within 5 years, we'll probably have a working metaverse in some capacity.
Hmm.
And even then, you're going to look at this thing improving. Like every year should be leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's kind of the way technology tends to go. And sometimes when we're in it, we sort of forget how fast things are moving.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was only 20 years ago that, you know, the internet was sort of still, you know, people were still looking at crazy, horrible looking, bad colored pages with almost no functionality. And now look at where we're at.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so that to me is definitely kind of cool. MC says something else about her bunnies. They're pretty fornicky. Okay. I'm not sure what fornicky means, but I think that means frisky, or, you know, maybe the next step beyond frisky. Not entirely sure. This is a family channel, so that's as far as I'm going to go. But thank you
and
for
I think
letting us
with
know,
the
MC.
I think with the metaverse stuff, I know I'm hearing a lot of people say that people are going to be able to work full time from the metaverse. I don't know how all that's going to work, but that would be really interesting. That's their full time job, working in the metaverse and just making their
Well,
money over there. So that's really cool.
Microsoft has this 365. I know they have 365 for pretty much everything, but they have this metaverse version of 365 where they can basically taking the office to the metaverse, so you can have a complete replica of your actual workplace in the metaverse. So you can have like the offices, the boardrooms, even the work floor. So imagine if we get to a point where people could be manipulating stuff on the work floor, but yet those manipulations would then be transmitted or something to a robot or something like that. So they might be able to directly control. So there's just so much that they can do. And it doesn't make, it really is kind of cool that that Microsoft is the people who are going to be jumping on that part of it, because that's kind of their bread and butter. That's kind of where they came from. So, and, you know, I'm subscribed to Office 365, so I think they should give me some metaverse stuff.
That'd be awesome.
That's my thought. And they're really poised, which is kind of interesting. Did you see that whole sale with Blizzard, where they bought Activision Blizzard last week?
No, I didn't.
Well, they haven't. They put their intentions in to buy them. It's probably going to take a year before everything's official. But it's going to make Microsoft the third largest gaming company in the world.
Wow.
And that's big. That's huge.
Yeah, that is.
You know, and that's them just getting ready for the metaverse.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense. Yep.
You know, and plus just the amount of new stuff and content for Xbox is just going to be incredible. So, you know, and I know it was even pointed out, like Sony dropped next day after that. And I know Ryan was pointing out that a lot of the Sony products will now be owned by Microsoft, just because of part of that deal. So I can understand why Sony is probably going, oh crap.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. I mean, things are happening. I think a lot of stuff's moving behind the scenes. Like, you know, Apple's up to stuff. Facebook is being really, really quiet. I mean, we've got the Oculus, but I'm kind of like, why is Facebook being so quiet? What are they brewing?
Yeah.
You know, occasionally you hear of them poaching, you know, top developers from Apple and Microsoft. But outside of that, they're up to something, and they're just keeping it very close to the chest.
Yeah, I really can't wait. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's going to be insanely awesome. So, folks, time is really starting to run out. Journey has stuck around till 18 minutes after 1.
I think I'll get going now. But
absolutely.
I guess no one ended up joining.
Nobody did. But that's fine, because we're almost at the end, and I got things I can say, which is awesome. I'll tell people about the Tuesday night live stream I'm doing this week. So that's going to be kind of neat. Now, you said you had to run?
Yeah. I'm going to get going now. Thank you for having me, Candice.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show. And definitely a huge thank from everybody who learned some information from you here tonight. You know, we'll definitely have to get you back again sometime, because it was a fantastic conversation.
For sure.
Plus, I'll get to use the comic book background again.
Yeah, Yeah, like, subscribe, comment.
All of
Thanks,
those
guys.
fun things. All right.
Yeah.
See you later, Journey.
Okay. Later.
All right. Bye-bye. All right. Now you can see the comic book better. All right. So we've got basically about 10 minutes left. So get in any questions you have while we wind things down. I'll just let you guys know I'm doing another live stream on Tuesday this week. It'll be 8 p.m. It's only going to be about a 30-minute live stream. But the reason I'm doing that is that we're going to be doing some rebranding with the channel, and I will be introducing a whole bunch of stuff to you. The new look for the channel, the new name. I've even got a banana bread killer logo. Well, okay, but there's no banana bread in the logo, but I think it's going to be really fantastic. One of the things is when I first set up the channel, and this is just give you a bit of a reason as to why I'm doing this. I was looking for a name and looking, and everything was taken. Everything was taken. And eventually I settled on Financial Brew because I was like, okay, I like coffee. Let's do that. And I was able to get the website for it. But I've never been 100% happy with it because, it's sort of like, well, what can my logo be? It has to have a coffee cup in it. And it's like, well, that's kind of not the reflection. The reflection I want for the channel is basically more of an educational type channel because that's kind of one of the main goals of this channel is to provide information and to give people a place to start when it comes to investing. So I want something to sort of reflect that. Also, I had added with Candace Mountain to the title because initially I think it was just Financial Brew for about 2 days. Then I added my name because in the community everybody knew who I was. So that was kind of just a way to get that all together. So with the new name, my name will be incorporated into it in some way, shape, or form. That'll be a surprise, I think, for Tuesday. And I think it's going to be really cool. I got a lot of work I got to do between now and then, which is going to be fun. So, new banner. I'm going to drop all of it Tuesday. I probably won't put any of it up live until after we do the little announcement live stream for that. So, that's what's coming up on Tuesday. So, if you were on the website and you saw that in the schedule, that's what that's all about. So, I mean, speaking of the website, uh, if any of you guys are not yet on the Financial Brew website, which will have a different name on Tuesday, um, definitely sign up on that for the Facebook group because a lot of information goes there. And I always let you guys know ahead of time. Here's the schedule, and it's a great way to sort of request things. For example, the other day Corey requested the video that came out on Thursday, the one with the Excel. That was actually a request from Corey on the Facebook page. So I try to do that because I want to give you guys what you want. And I'll go out of my way to certainly do that for future videos, which I think is fantastic. Another little thing too, and I'll drop it. There's actually a link down below as well. I do have a free mailing list as well. The mailing list, it's basically just a quick little newsletter, comes out every Monday. All it has in it is 4 things. 3 of those things are links to the videos from the week before. So if you missed one, you'll see it there, and then you can always check that out later. Then I add some original content to it. So for example, in last week's newsletter, everything I bought the previous week, I gave you a complete breakdown of everything I bought and why I bought it. The week before, I think I gave some kind of an educational blurb on something. I can't remember what it was. I really should remember, but I do that every week because I don't want to have a newsletter like that unless I at least throw in something original or something that is exclusive to the newsletter. So just so you guys know, I have that as well. So that's absolutely free. Definitely jump on that. You won't get any spam from me because I'd kick myself in the butt if I ever sent spam. So you'll get no spam. It's just once a week, every Monday. So that's kind of a cool thing. Also, I've added a Patreon to the channel because, I'm doing this full time. I don't get paid by YouTube yet. So if you're looking to support the channel, that is an option as well. That is down below. I'm actually looking to add some additional content for the Patreon once I get some people in it. One of the thoughts is actually with crypto videos. One of the things with YouTube is not always super pleased to share crypto videos. So I try to keep my crypto videos down to a minimum because I know they're not going to get shared as well by YouTube, which is sort of defeats the purpose of trying to grow the community. But I know there's a lot of you out there that still really like crypto. And, I just want to be able to get you some content, some of that crypto content. So I'm thinking about that as an option, is putting some of that onto, of course, the Patreon once I've got some people there. I'm not going to start loading videos until I've actually got some folks over there because, well, nobody's going to see them. So it wouldn't really make sense to do that yet. But so the big thing is I'm looking at ways to grow the community so that you guys can get more of this, get more of the things that you want, because that's what I'm here for. For me, it's all about teaching. I love passing on information. I love taking complex things and making them easier for you guys to just digest. I think that's just a fantastic thing. Now we got a couple more comments here. So Hirai saying great show. And then thanks, Journey. Journey was a fantastic guest. Definitely loved having an opportunity to get him on. And a heart from Jill. So yeah, definitely. And my profile picture says it all. I heart crypto. Dave does. And Dave's one of these people who is like, yeah, if Dave D had his way, I would be a crypto channel. Sure, and Siri didn't understand what I was saying. Go away, Siri. So anyway, that's the fun of a live broadcast. Sometimes my watch can hear what I'm saying and think I'm talking to her. I'm not. I'm almost never talking to my watch. But that's fine. So anyway, we just got a couple minutes here left because we're looking to wrap this up in the next 5 minutes or so. So if you have any questions at all, drop those in right now. Yeah, and any other topics you want. Oh, next week I've got Ryan on, and you know what? Let's do something really special. I will create a poll in our Facebook group, and you guys can pick the topic for me and Ryan for next week. So we'll give everybody, we'll say until Wednesday. So I'll put the poll in there tonight. I'll let you add things. Whatever topic gets voted the most, that's what we'll talk about. Within financial, like if somebody says, I want you to talk about hot tub time machine, we're probably not going to do a live stream on hot tub time machine. But yeah, whatever you want. Now keep in mind too that keep in mind who we have. It's myself and it's Rye. So you probably will, I would vote for things that the two of us would do a really good job on. Like for example, if you pick something way outside of our two comfort zones, something like, let's say, liquidity farming. Neither of us have really got a lot of experience with that. So pick something that will be that'll be fun. And we already know that Ken is going to add the hot tub time machine just because that is Ken. Now here, Ken, is there a live after show after this? Because I know you had put a vote out yesterday. I haven't heard yet if there is, because if there is, I want to let people know where they should head after they're finished this show. So give me a quick let me know on this. I have a request mostly about crypto, but it probably works for stocks as well. Well, MC, head over to the Facebook group and I'll get that up and you can add your topic. And here's the thing. I mean, when you guys add topics like this, maybe your topic doesn't win, but I'm still looking at these topics. And a lot of times I'll look and I'll say, you know what? MC had a great topic. It didn't win, but I should make a video on it. And that's kind of one of the things I will do, because I'm always looking to give you guys what you guys want. I don't want to feed you, what I want. Sometimes Rye's voice will set off my Siri. That's actually funny. And Riley says, "Damn, was hoping for Hot Tub Time Machine talk." Oh yeah, that was a good movie. I enjoy time travel movies, but all right, and the link is out there. So every Saturday night, the friggin' Oracle does an after show for my show, which is kind of funny. But he'll be doing that as just something for you guys to sort of drift over to once this show is done and he is up and running. All right, so get your final comments in, guys. We're coming to the end. Now that the Hot Tub Time Machine is going to be the next most voted option, right? Yes, I know it'll be the most voted, but I've already said it's not winning. So, you can vote for that, or you can do a real vote, and we can sort of see what we're getting. Let's see. In crashes like the last few days, I'm thinking of trading my non-movers for others as they all crashed equally type thing. That's actually a fantastic thing, what she just said. A lot of people are in that situation where they're saying, I don't want to sell the red. Okay, so if you have a stock, for example, that is not doing very well, and we have a crash like this on top of that, sometimes it's not a bad move to move it into something that is going to recover. If you've started to lose faith in the stock that's not doing so well, you do take a loss though when you do it. And keep in mind that capital loss, you can use that to cancel out some of the taxes on capital gains during that year to move that over. So that is the consequence. The capital loss happens when you're moving from red to red. So it's not technically a sideways move. You're selling and buying. And here's the other thing too to keep in mind. Anytime you do sell something in the red, if you then change your mind and you decide to buy back in, that is a no-no. And I'll tell you why, because it no longer is a capital loss if you buy back. If you buy that same stock within 30 days of selling it, it doesn't become a capital loss. It's called an inconsequential loss. So it does not go, it's just a loss then at that point. You can't use it to go against a capital gain. So you lose that status. So that's one of those things. And I think Ryan once said, when he sells, he likes to wait about 45 days. And you know what? That's probably better, just to make sure that there isn't any errors. Because keep in mind that when you sell or make a transaction with a stock, there's a couple of days that it takes for things to settle. So for the whole settlement and the stuff that happens behind the scenes of the stock market. So it's better to take longer, like 45 days. Then 100% there can't be any kind of a mess up and you accidentally lose that capital loss. So that's kind of a huge thing, just to make sure that you guys are playing that. Gigolo giraffes. Okay. All about how the swing. All right. So we're coming here to the end. I think I've answered all your questions. Thank you guys all for showing up. Be sure to vote on what you want me and Ryan to talk about next week. So I'll get that going quite literally. The second this ends, I'll go right over and I'll put that in. So it should be there within about 10 minutes after this goes, the show goes down. I don't have anyone to have an after show talk with right now, so I can do that right away. And of course, be sure to check out Tuesday night at 8, that special live stream just to announce the rebranding. And for the most part, everything else about the channel is staying the same. It's just going to be the branding and the look. There'll still be the same number of shows, so don't worry, you're not losing anything. You're just getting a lot sleeker, cooler look to a few different things. All right. Well, with that being said, I just want to thank you guys all for dropping by, because it was a fantastic show. And I look forward to seeing you guys again soon. I'll be back next week. Me and Rye will be talking about something, whatever you guys decide. And yeah, that'll be a fantastic show as well. So without any further ado, take care, and we will talk to you again soon.